Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is me, Dukect T, back with you once again. How are you feeling? Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling as lovely on this warm and hot. Actually, it's 80 degrees where I'm at. The hotness of the well of everything else. So I hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling safe. Hope you're doing good. And now it's been a very, very interesting couple of days in the world of. Sorry about that. I'm just testing stuff out. Anyway, oh, it looks like it's not on for some reason. Let me just. Oh no, not in that. So we stop sharing the screen a bit. That will stop it, hopefully. All right. Anyway. Well, looks like Ubisoft is just gotten a little bit of trouble. I mean, it's always been trouble with their upper staff and all these other things that they usually are going through right now. All the other, yes, the deviants and all the stuff on the developer side of it. But now it seems they're getting in trouble with they're getting in trouble by revoking the assets of single player games. We just put this whole share the stuff here, and let me just put that right here. Yeah, well, the games you bought, what not exactly? It's it reminds me of the old Mud MMO game, episode about this, talking about being bricked, and quite honestly, he was Tiger and such. He still does his live streams and everything else. Man, I really wish he did those shows again because man, they got a lot of information in 10 minutes or less. And I know, man, and man, he missed the boat on those video essays. He missed them because Lord knows, man, I feel like he was right there, and if only he was doing that stuff now, especially now, those videos would be up to like 100,000, 200,000. He'd be averaging 100 grand, 100,000 videos a week. You know that type of stuff. I believe he would have been, but well, the videos are still up, and it just right here, this pretty much he predicted all this stuff happening. Anyway, and yeah, since yesterday, yada yada yada, it was updated a statement. Silent Hill 5 and Assassin's Creed Liberation HD Steam pages. They will be continued to be accessible for existing owners, and they will not. But yeah, that's what it is. Here's what Steam was on yesterday. Here it is. At the request of the publisher, the Assassin's Creed Liberation HD is no longer available on Steam. This item will no longer be accessible following September 1st, 2022. And quote, this is high here. The DLC for this product, in all elements, will become available as of September 1st, 2022. The base game will continue to be payable. So I probably think there was fan backlash, mostly. Some say it was a mistake, but I believe they actually did this, to test the waters a bit. Because quite honestly, the DRM practices, all these other things, digital ownership, which is another thing people like myself who, like I said, I like digital games. I have a couple of them on my Switch. I got a couple on my Xbox Series X, and I got a couple of them on the PC and everything else. I love digital stuff. But the problem is, how long is that digital stuff is owned by? Who owns it? And yes, there's a lot of positives about digital ownership. One of the main positives is space. I mean, digital space is one thing, but actual physical space holding all that stuff is, can be a bit on the frustrating side. It could be very frustrating to to have this type of to have this issue and everything, to have the issues of basically, like, okay, I have no more room for all these games, movies, TV shows, DVDs, VHSs. You got if you have a separate room for all this, you're just like, yeah, and you have to maintain them, clean them, do all these other stuff. Digital stuff, you don't have to do that. It's a convenience thing. It's always about convenience, and that to me is a good thing because most people don't have the time, energy, and the all the other stuff to do all these stuff, to do all the things that people need to do right now. Because again, I know we are going through the pandemic, we still are, and such, and the digital stuff can't help by like, okay, I don't need to go to the stores, I don't need to do anything like that. However, when just okay, stop sharing for a second, get the I don't know why it keeps doing that little thing here, but don't worry. Audio is already being saved via Audacity, so you keep the stuff up, and making sure everything else is fine. But yeah, anyway, but yeah, this says right here the decommissioning of online components, 15 of its older games. Let's see the games that are going to be um pulled, and let's see right here. Let's see. All right, let me just pull it here. Okay, we gotta get this right here. Start share the screen. Da 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 da. And here we are. Right here. The 15 of its games contains older Assassin's Creed, Splinter Cell Blacklist, Prince of Persia, The Forgotten Sands. These games are getting pulled from Steam. And looking, you see right here, the there's other stuff like VR games, which Space Junkies, which was a recent game released a couple of years ago, 2019, going offline, and it was a multiplayer focused game. It's still available online, but it's basically multiplayer focused. So, I mean, it's just like, yeah, what's the point of playing a game that's basically multiplayer focused? It's just bots at that point, and it has only 3 concurrent players a day on Steam. I mean, no one really buying that game right now, but it's going to be gone. It's just like it's here and it's out. A lot of stuff have the City Builder Anno 2070, 2077, 2070 has around 100 players in their Steam, but they're going to be kicked off as well. So that was right here saying best features was called the Arc, which lets you store materials and upgrades and then use them in subsequent playthroughs and such. And the fans of the developer Ubisoft Blue Byte, the game developer behind the Anno series acquired by Ubisoft in 2001. They quickly responded to Ubisoft announcement by saying they're going to dedicate some of our developmental resources to work on upgrading Anno's 2070s age online infrastructures to a new system so that these features can continue to be used past the mention date. And that's to me worse because, like, well, they're like, well, only 100 people play it, only 5 people play, the average thing on Steam, but you are losing people who will be interested in the future. And this is the problem with these digital games, is that they're on a time limit. They are on a time limit. And once that time limit's up, it doesn't matter if you like the game, if you love the game, if you do anything about the game, does not matter. The game, that means if it's not actually continuing having high standards and such, doesn't have like an average like maybe 1,010 or maybe 15,000 or 20,000 people playing on Steam. If it doesn't have that type of number, it's gone, and your memories and friends and all that stuff is probably gonna be gone with it. I mean, how many people sit back and play these games and connected with people and connected with this stuff, this is the only way to connect to people? What if it's just the only way to connect to friends or family members and such like that? And that's gone now if it's this multiplayer thing here. And then you have, Far Cry 3 and all this stuff with you have Far Cry 3 and Creed 3 has been pushed aside of the remaster versions, but people like to play the classic ones, and such. And now the old ones, well, we got a remaster version. We don't need these old dusted ones no more. And then you have no more multiplayer, which I barely even played the Assassin's Creed multiplayer. Barely played that. I just don't think Assassin's Creed shouldn't have multiplayer. But hey, people who do love it, they respect that multiplayer. They do. So if you really care for that multiplayer, it does suck that it's gone. And then you have no more. There's no chance if this happens, and when this does happen, if you have the original Assassin's Creed 3 on the PC, you will no longer have the access to its DLC. The Tyranny of King Washington, 3-part DLC, which is single player content. Now, this is again looking upon it is that it says right here, logical solution would be to do what many publishers have done before, offer owners both these games for free or heavily discount upgrades to their remaster editions. 2K Games and Bethesda did this with Red Faction, Guerrilla, Bioshock, and Skyrim a few years back, offering time-limited free upgrades to owners with the old PC versions. And it's worth adding that the original versions of all those games, with all of those DLC, remain available on Steam. Here, Ubisoft will be locking players out of single-player content that they've already paid for, and so far offering nothing in the way of an offense for those players. On a similar note, people who bought Space Junkies, which is only 3 years old, should be refunded, as their access to the game is about to be revoked. It's one thing for a game to be efficiently defunct due to the lack of players online. It's another for a publisher to step in and say you no longer have the right to play this game. Games like Splinter Cell, Blacklist, Prince of Persia, The Fighting Sands, Far Cry 3, and Driver 760 will no longer support their multiplayer and online co-op modes. In these cases, Ubisoft could easily look to the enduring popularity of Battlefield games. Battlefield 1942 and Battlefield 2 continue to be enjoyed by hundreds of players today, thanks to community-run private servers. While many older co-op games can still be played via LAN or online servers like Hamachi. The fact that 2005 games Splinter Cell Chaos Theory can be still played via LAN, that's LAN, therefore virtual LAN. Well, 2013 Splinter Cell Blacklist will have its multiplayer component rendered completely null and void. So that's Ubisoft have over the years become woefully short-sighted in how they accommodate players who want access to multiple multiplayer features. Well, then again, there's other things Ubisoft has been woefully short-sighted with, especially with the Splinter Cell franchise. Ubisoft's obsession to keeping every aspect of their game richly tied to the online ecosystem has been catching up with them. For a while. Their cracks have been appearing for some time. Last year, for instance, Splinter Cell's Conviction online functionality was deactivated. The game obviously featured a LAN mode, but it turned out that this too was tied into Ubisoft servers. Yep, to play locally, you still had to connect online. Insane, isn't it? Which means you couldn't even play locally with your friends anymore. An entire chunk of the game is just gone. You can't expect the official server to stay active forever, sitting empty for years before we decide to pop back in for a few hours for a little nostalgic session. But the tools and features should be put in the players' hands so that if they want to continue using parts of the game that they rightfully own, however sporadically they can. And I agree with this article. And looking back, and it looks like this stuff here is he says this stuff right here is Robert Zach talked about this, and he's just like, he wanted to have Ubisoft a comment, and this is what they said. Their comment was says, we don't take the decision to retire services for older Ubisoft games lightly, and our teams are currently assessing all available options for players who will be impacted when these games' online services are decommissioned on September 1st, 2022. We are also working with our partners to update this information across all storefronts so players will be fully informed about the removal of online services at the point of purchase, as well as via our support article where we shared the news. Conveniently vague, then. I love that. It's like he says, conveniently vague. Then, through seeing as they're assessing all viable options for when these games and services go down in several weeks' time, we'll be checking back in to see what actions they wind up taking. Until now, the issues seem to confine to games which has some sort of online features, however tenuous. But over the weekend, we've learned that Ubisoft will be pulling and revoking access to a fully fledged single player game. Yep, that's what they did, but they close to expansion, 705. A lot of the stuff has um yeah, there's been a lot of stuff too. I mean, again, GTA Definitive Edition trilogy pulled all their stuff there, and now I guarantee after that GTA bomb, I guarantee you that the original stuff is going to be put back on the shelves. I mean, hopefully soon. I had the PS2 versions of all of them, so I need to get my PS2 fixed. But I do have those games, so I think I'm fine for the most part. For the most part. Honestly, on the other hand, we've seen publishers be, it says right here, the original, the Prey from 2006, underrated game. I really wish that game got a sequel instead of, and it had a Native American protagonist. How many Native American protagonists other than Turok? Man, that is sad that there's like only like a couple of them. You got like Nightwolf in like Mortal Kombat. You got Prey, and then you got like this. And I'm like, sure, you could use like make someone Native American like in you know, um like in like games like in Mass Effect or something like that. You can have them have the type of stuff there, but it's kind of sad that this game, Prey, and all this other stuff in the series there could have done something really interesting as they pulled, like I said, they pulled the original play from sale. It's gone, but the only prey you can get, unless you are on the high seas, which I do not recommend at all. I don't recommend piracy at all. Not at all. None. Um, you can only get the official release. I support the official release of all these things. Everything. Like, please do not cancel me. Please. I don't want to be canceled. Yes. But yeah, let's see, stop sharing, and hopefully that will bring this stuff back. But yeah, it's the 2017 game Prey, from you see 2000 2020 the 2017 Prey, which by the way, if you look at the archives and such in the YouTubes and the CT Lounge, I said back then I would never play a Bethesda game because how they treated their Prey to the gods, and they forced that title to change its name. And I'm like, and by the way, Prey didn't do so well. It basically was mediocre, and no, the sales were mediocre. Maybe instead of suing another, a game or whatever, instead of suing that, maybe just maybe focused on your own game, marketing, build it up instead of just becoming just a forgettable title from back in 2007, 2017, a forgotten title. So I'm just like, yeah, this lack of marketing and lack of all this type of stuff, man. And it sucks because I think Prey in that universe, the only one, like I said, I haven't played a Bethesda game since. And honestly, I got out of that bandwagon. I don't know if I ever going to break my, but maybe Starfield might do it. But then again, I remember of all the bad stuff that Bethesda had, Fallout 76, Fallout 4, and all the other stuff that came through recently. So yeah, I think I'm smart enough to just leave Bethesda in the lurch, but you never know. Yeah. But yeah, this stuff is getting, you know, yeah, this is, yeah. I have I have Assassin's Creed 3, the uh remastered edition, so I got all this stuff on my Switch, so I can play. Actually, I like Assassin's Creed Liberation far more than Creed 3. Actually, I tried playing through Creed 3, and I honestly don't care. Personally, I'm loving Origins at this. Origins to me is a lot better game. Origins is a better game in my opinion than Assassin's Creed 3. Ugh, man. Can't crouch or anything in that game. I don't know why you can't crouch. I don't know why they just take away crouching in this series. I don't know. But speaking of online stuff, I want to talk a little bit about this thing that came out today about Skate. Just share this thing here. Is that the Skate is a free to play title and it's coming to mobile. Yeah, there it is. It is going to be the Skate franchise is going to be going to mobile, but it's still coming to PC to consoles. It's going to be on the all of the systems except for the Nintendo Switch because the Switch is bad for some reason. Cross platform play, yada yada yada. But this will be free to play, and it's going to be microtransaction. It's going to be all it's going to be a live service game. That's right. Skate is going to be a live service game. Isn't that going to be fun? Another live service game. And I love these things and such as either way, the full circle of this game. Yeah, this is right here. For years to come. It's just like there will be a Skate 5 through 10. It's not Skate 4, it's just Skate. Yeah, the live service game. That's gonna be great. Yeah, remember when let's see. Yeah, remember that. I remember. Oh yeah, I remember all this stuff. I remember it's just gonna be this, and I bet this. But remember this. Remember, let me just see. Where is it? I can't find it for some reason. Let's see. A 10-year plan. Ah, yes, the 10-year plan from Destiny. Remember that? Remember, let me just put this right here. The Destiny 10-year plan, the live service games and all that stuff. Remember that? Remember this? The Destiny 10-year plan, all this stuff. Yeah, Destiny, all that stuff was 10 years and the Dark Below, House of Wolves, The Taken King, all of them is it's gonna be 10 years of Destiny in 2016. Remember that? Remember live service games? It's gonna be keep going and exactly. It says the 10-year plan. Remember that? I remember this. The 10-year plan for Destiny. 10 years and then boom, Destiny 2. Yeah, Destiny 2 showed up. Live service and everything. Now it's free to play. Just a mess. Yeah, just a mess. Just a huge mess. You know. Uh, and then we always count out the other live service games. And there's so many of them littered throughout the ground. I mean, let's see. I mean, where look at all the live service games right now. What happened to them? Where are the live services games? I mean, hey, well, at least the best one right now is Apex Legends, supposedly. There are some good live, Dota 2, Valiant, Destiny 2, Genshin Impact, and Fortnite. Those are live action stuff. They're live action, live server games that do it right. But then there are a lot of them that are wrong. Like Anthem. Remember Anthem? Ah, Anthem. And it's, remember Anthem? Remember that? Remember Anthem and how it was going to be the biggest thing ever and it wasn't? This is what I fear what's going on with these type of games and these live service games. These games that are downloaded, these stuff. These games have a time period, like a self-inflicted, you know, mean a time like it's TikTok. And the problem is, ladies and gentlemen, the problem is that when you really have this, like an anthem, for example, it's gone, and they just delete everything from it. There is nothing left for it. You know, Anthem was, it's gone. Yeah, Anthem. And then you look what's going on with Ubisoft and everything. It paints a really bad picture for these downloadable games or games and stuff like that. It ties into it because these games, whether it be live service, whether you can download them, whether you get DLC, they have a time limit on it. A time limit that is honestly unfair. An unfair time limit for the consumer. That if you don't have these things, if you don't get the DLC right, or something happens to your console or whatever, they'll say, sorry, buddy. I know you had to upgrade your console or something happened to it. It was destroyed. Someone stole it. Someone did some horrible stuff. Even though you got the digital receipt, doesn't matter. We'll give you the base game, but all the stuff you had, the DLC, the costumes, and all that stuff, gone. Oh, and by the way, we're deleting the game in about 2 weeks or whatever. So sorry, you own nothing and you will be happy. That is the prop. This is what these downloadable games are. You will own nothing and you will be happy. I don't know about you, but I'm not happy reading about this stuff, man. This stuff right here is a this is the reason why a lot of people, like myself, are worried about this stuff. Who are worried about, who are not going full digital as of yet. I'm not going all digital. I'm going to be still be doing physical stuff. In fact, that's why I haven't get the Shredder's Revenge and everything else. I haven't got, I'm waiting for my physical copy, which is going to be in August. That's why I bought my physical copy of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. That's why I have, physical copies and everything. I just can't. I cannot support digital only because that is going to really be just going. I just don't think it's going to be the most positive thing afterwards, man. I don't think it's going to be the one thing that's going to be the best important thing that's going to help. I mean, it might help for many people, but heck, it's not helpful when you have this stuff happening. When Ubisoft deletes your stuff out there on Steam, whatever, and then you got these live service games that don't work, and then bam, it's gone. And heck, in the space too. I mean, I have like 8 digital games, and it's already filling my stuff up. Like it's like 58% filled up on my Xbox Series X, which supposedly had like a terabyte, 1 terabyte. That's and it's already half gone. That's what it is. It's already halfway gone, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't know what else. So yeah, you know, invest in smaller and make things. That's what I wish. Maybe digital make these games smaller and less intrusive for people like myself to download them. That sort of thing, and also don't delete your games online. Yeah, online games and such. That's just me. Anyway, I'm going to take a small little break here. We'll be right back. We'll talk a little bit about Sasha Banks being released. And later on, Netflix and Microsoft, coming together. Is it going to be a good thing, a bad thing? We'll talk here live on the Dukect Lounge right here on TalkShoe.com and on YouTube. We'll be right back right after this. And we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is me, Duke CT. How are you doing this evening? Well, let's talk a little about Sasha Banks, which apparently, rumor has it that after the huge walkout, which happened on May 16th, which is okay, put that here. share. Here we are. After Sasha Banks and Naomi, real names Mercedes Renato and Trinity Fatu, the WWE current women tag champions, walked out on Monday Night Raw, May 16th, and to issue with the creative decisions, and they just walked out. And since then, the women's championships have not only not been used, they have been completely forgotten. They said it was going to have a tournament, and since then that tournament has been completely gone. There hasn't been a tournament at all for anything with that women's championship. It's just, and then when you have just all these all the stuff around that system and everything else. You have all this stuff happening. With the women's titles, heck, the NXT Women's Championships. It got like Cora Jade and Roxanne. They won the titles last week, and then this week they just broke up. So yeah, this is elaborate work to basically say, yep, this is elaborate work to just get rid of the women's champions tag belts, which at this point has been more of an albatross on WWE's necks. But then again, WWE could have done this if they just started building tag teams, building up a women's division, making sure they actually have done these things, build it up, and then have it, or maybe separate a women's, do something to actually, for the ladies, for Raw, SmackDown, NXT, to really build them up, that sort of thing. Do stuff like that. Instead, they just, they haven't done much with them. And then you got this story right here. So West, let me just put this here. Share the screen. And right here, Sasha Banks hints that she'll be a free agent as of January 1st of next year. And then as time passes, the breakup of WWE feels more question if, when, if not if. A new report at weeks hints at a date when Banks will be free to wrestle elsewhere. So it's Fightful Select, this article written by Tyler Nywalk. This is on Wrestling Junkie. It says Fightful Select has been on the top of the Banks situation from the start. The latest update was spurred by the announcement she would be a guest at the Comic-Con, billed under a real name Mercedes Renato, which includes Sasha Banks. The report also reports that promoters have reached out to Banks, but we're told she was only taking non-wrestling related bookings until January 1st. Fightful Select, that's unclear if the date is a personal preference or tied to something contractual. In other words, Banks may not be simply interested in a return in 2022, or she may be unable to as a condition of her still unconfirmed WWE release. Regardless, if Banks were to show up in another wrestling promotion in 2023, it will finalize a stunning exit. It will feel like it's a real saga from the time she and Naomi walked out during the May 16th episode of Raw. Talent comes and goes all the time, but the acrimonious departure of the most decorated black woman in company history and still at her prime is a bad look for WWE, no matter how one feels about where Banks held her departure. See her walk out to another promotion, particularly if it was on national TV, like it would be if some AEW, would be thrilling for the wrestling fans, but have a bitter pull for WWE to swallow a bitter pill. Fact checking, spelling. Not a bitter pill for WWE to swallow. It seems unlikely that that's the way things are headed, possibly soon as January. Well, if this is the case, she's going. Sasha Banks is going to be leaving in January, and coming doing stuff. I'm happy for her. She probably has at least some good stuff with Disney and such. Disney, all the other things there. So she has that going for her. That's good. I mean, hey, you gotta make your money, do your smart stuff there. The most important stuff there is to make you money and do other things after. So I don't know. By the way, no one knows what Naomi is doing. So I think she's just chilling at home. Hopefully Trinity Fatu is having a good time with herself and keeping herself safe and everything like that. That's good. Then you have you know, what she wants to do. Is she retired? I hope not. I mean, she was one of the. I hope that, like I said, my real goal or my 100% thing would be them patching things up with WE. Be nice and such that they just sit there and finally have a conversation, say, what can we do, like adults, and try to keep this in, hopefully negotiations. Maybe they've broken down, but probably wishes that they didn't, or maybe they can negotiate again. And such. I hope that would be, to me, that would be, I think up to a lot of people, not just myself, but would show like, nice of maturity and all the stuff with Sasha Banks and Naomi scenario, which people just forgot about Naomi, which is just, you know, that's just messed up. She has, honestly, she was pretty much a lock of Hall of Famer, just as Sasha Banks is, and no one really seems to talk about her or anything else. So I hope that Naomi and I hope that Sasha, you know, both have incredible careers after WE. Hopefully they can come back. Hey, never say never in the wrestling business. But it looks like it's maybe people think Sasha might be going to AEW. She's gonna be out. I don't know where she's going, but who knows? Maybe Sasha might be going to AEW. Maybe she's retired. Hell, if she wants to retire and go to the Disney for Star Wars, we might mock them or everything else. But dang it, Star Wars is guaranteed bank for the majority of the time. That film made over $1 billion. The last, the Rise of Skywalker made over $1 billion. I don't care how you like, bro, this world and this, that, and the other. I'm like, my dude, it's $1 billion franchise. Still $1 billion franchise, all right? It is people know about it all over the world. And maybe we can sit there and actually we can all just sit back and watch Sasha Banks go for that. And heck, maybe there's some money in there. And I think there is guaranteed money for Star Wars. Much more guaranteed money than any WWE or AEW has. So, but yeah, Sasha Banks being released. I think at this point she might be. Rumor had it might be in the Eternals, like internal roster. At this point, if she's gone, I hope everything works out for her for the best. If not, I just hope that she has some money saved up and she continue making the rounds and stuff like that, because she can. I think she is capable of being that type of strong, like pillar for any type of company she signs. That's my thing. That's my personal belief. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Next up, the last story: Netflix and Microsoft work together. Well, I'll get my thoughts on that here live on the Dukect Lounge. We'll be right back right after this here on TalkShoe.com and on YouTube.com, streaming right now. All right, we'll be right back right after this. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. Thank you for sitting with me, Duke CT. Well, thank you for listening and sticking with the insanity that is the Duke CT Lounge and all this stuff here. Anyway, just thank you. Okay, come on. All right, come on. Load. What's going on here? Let's see. Maybe I just disconnect here. All right, I'm just get the story. All right. Okay. All right. All right. Let's look at the story here. Got it. Share the screen. Right here. Netflix decision to work with Microsoft because let's see. The reason why they are right now is because the reason why is because they want to do ads. Netflix is hurting right now. They're losing viewers, and shows like the new Resident Evil show, which seems to be something hilariously bad. Some people saying might be right up there with Halo, which I might have to go watch because that might be an amazing feat. Anyway, Microsoft isn't in the TV. It says right here is in the TV industry in a big way, and that might be one of the reasons why it was attractive to Netflix. No point in getting in bed with a competitor. And Microsoft isn't to take the advanced advertising company exam off AT&T's hands. Suddenly looks like a pretty good deal. Of course, the devil's in the details, and it remains to be seen just how the Netflix-Microsoft relationship plays out. It could be a short term until Netflix buys or builds its own capabilities, or the two could be in it for the long term. Could they be a marriage in the future? Some observers raised the possibility of Microsoft acquiring Netflix down the line. Matthew Sanson, alias at the RBC Capital Markets, noted that the surprise was initial feedback he was getting from investors and ad industry insiders. Says, quote, while Microsoft has a history in advertising with Bing and LinkedIn, they do not have an established presence with CTV, additionally missing an established sales force and ad server for the market. The reasons this announcement was a surprise, maybe the same reason that Microsoft was selected, only compared to Google, Amazon, and NBC Universal. Microsoft doesn't have conflicting inventory that competes directly with Netflix. Additionally, recent acquisition of Xandr has strengthened the company's SSP positioning, with Microsoft emphasizing the privacy focus of the acquisition, which appears to also appeal to Netflix from the press release Swanson said. Swanson added that the addition of premium inventory to the markets from Netflix should be a positive for the broader CTV market, increasing competition and accelerating the value-added services. What does CTV market mean? Let's see. It is basically it's a stock price, yada yada yada. I think it's a CTV. Let's see, CTV marketing. It's cross device. It's basically for cross device marketing. Oh, wow, gosh. Ooh. It's just squashed a bug. That's good. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, it was on my forehead. Summer weather, man. You never know what type of bugs can crawl out and get you. But yeah, this is basically for cross-device marketing and all these type of stuff. So here's hoping that maybe that both Microsoft and Netflix, like, here's hoping this will help building more capital for Netflix. More people have been it's the stock plunged. The Netflix stock has just did not do well in the first time, so they're looking at any way to increase capital, any way to actually start building itself up again. And it says this whole subscription shock prompted Netflix about face on advertising, which will probably because could be a lot more ads coming down the pike. So this is question about advertising as part of its earning report. Among them, what is your short and long term strategy for the ad supported subscription plan? What is the timeline for using the ad experience? That sort of stuff. These are going to be the questions what Netflix are going to have when they have that stock call talking about advertising. Is it going to be just commercials? Are they going to be doing more like network TV things? How is Microsoft is going to play a role into these things? A lot of it right here saying it's positive as ad supporting stuff is going to be seen for Disney Plus. HBO Max is talking about this as well. Amazon Prime is going to be doing that, and I think a lot of it saying that let's see right there saying the co-founder of Samba TV, Ashwin Navin, it says Netflix entry into the advertising game was a huge win for consumers, advertisers, and its own opportunity for growth. Selecting Microsoft as its partner is a smart strategic decision that provides Netflix with a proven advertising technology and turnkey advertising solution that provides Netflix with the proven advertising solution that already has subscription sale without building a dependency on a platform owned by a streaming competitor. At its root, Netflix is a technology company, so it's no surprise that they led with the experience in solving for the future. Scott Seinler, a global chief commercial officer at EMX. For Microsoft, it is a big move in continuing unite its gaming and zero technology visions with cloud-based advertising solutions, and knows what's next for the two companies. Said Nicole Scavalli comes and says, for Netflix to fully realize their monetization potential, they will need to engage with a lot of technology and buying partners across the ecosystem. Microsoft has relationships and scale across channels and platforms, along with experienced sales teams and great tech infrastructure that can help Netflix grow their ad business quickly. Microsoft understands they want the best for brands, publishers, and consumers, and this aligns with the public's vision for ecosystem harmony. But then there are people who are not so happy about it. It's right here. Let me just go. All right. Share. All right. Netflix is like here saying, Laura Martin says that this could be, an analyst right here saying it could be that Netflix is looking for an exit. Liam Martin, senior analyst, told Yahoo Finance Live on Thursday, proposing perhaps the streaming giant is making a long-term play to be acquired by Microsoft. The analyst went on to explain that no other company that Netflix could have partnered with would have been able to make the $100 billion purchase either due to financial constraints or regulatory issues. Netflix is trying to get closer to Microsoft in hopes that after Microsoft digests its Activision acquisition, it turns and buys Netflix next. The bold prediction comes as Martin questions Netflix's decision to give Microsoft lack of experience in the third-party ad tech business. It says Microsoft will need significant tech build to successfully represent Netflix, thus delaying the streamer's original timeline to bringing an ad-supported tier to market by the end of this year, in Martin's view. Martin predicted it is now likely that ad tier will not debut until the third quarter of 2023. Wall Street does not have that priced in yet. They will not like that, she said, emphasizing investors wanted ad revenues to come to Netflix faster. In a note published Thursday, analysts at Goldman Sachs echoed the statement and said the company continues to navigate a rapidly changing streaming landscape. In analyzing a host of data sources on Netflix operating trends, it remains clear that Netflix remains mirrored in a period of post-pandemic growth normalization, while also seeing increased industry-wide competition. Eric Shannon wrote from Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs analyst Eric Shannon wrote. Shannon added concerns about the impact of a consumer recession as well as heightened levels of competition, on-demand trends, along with margin pressures and cost, leave Netflix as a show-me story for the next few quarters. At least Shannon maintained his sell rating on the Netflix sales shares. Both analysts also questioned the timing of the ad-supported expansion, both strategically and operationally, suggested by Netflix agreeing with Microsoft. Netflix announced 3 months ago on their earnings call that they were getting an ad business. They still hadn't haven't hired a head of ad sales, Martin said. The notion you have no one in the empire that's an expert in advertising, yet they picked an ad partner for a technology stack, is backwards. After reporting a surprise loss of 200,000 subscribers in the first quarter, Netflix is set to report quarter results this coming Tuesday after the market closed. Sales fell more than 30% following the company's first quarter report. Both Martin and Sheridan expect next week's results will leave investors disappointment. I would not be surprised at that as well. Maybe they are going for a sale. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if this might be something Microsoft might actually. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case as well. If Netflix is going to be, if this is going to be a sell. If this was a sell, maybe in a year from now, wouldn't surprise me because again, Microsoft seems to be buying everything at this point, and I'm getting worried about this might be getting too big to fail. How they're going to absorb all these costs and everything. I mean, Disney, you got Warner Brothers, you got Amazon, Amazon just recently bought MGM, and all these companies are just gobbling each other up, just making these things bigger and bigger, and I am just going to be, worried eventually that these companies might actually be too big to fail. Who knows? Who knows at this point? But I worry about that maybe because I've been watching too many, documentaries about 2008's financial crash or whatever. I got a bit of a weird vibe like a couple days ago. I was like, I'll just watch that stuff, and it's really interesting. Good stuff, by the way. Especially PBS documentaries did some good stuff too about it, and a lot of very interesting stuff there too. So, if you have time, check those out. On YouTube, actually. Yeah, check out. Just type PBS documentaries. I think because they're there. There's some good stuff. But yeah, it's. I'm hopeful things to work out, but I don't think it's going to be a. I think maybe this will finally build things up, but like the person said, it just seems to be like it's like something fishy going on here. They don't have any didn't hire any ad per people here. They are just throwing this to Microsoft, and this it seems like more of a Hail Mary than more of a true business connection. And maybe this is just saying, okay, maybe a year or two they're gonna drive the price down so low that Microsoft is gonna finally pick them up and buy them out. Who knows? Maybe that might be the play. We don't know what the play is at this point. But what we do know right now is that Microsoft is getting into buying a lot of these places, and they just recently bought Activision. They got Bethesda and these gaming stuff too. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the next couple of years? Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, that's it, ladies and gentlemen, for the show. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening to me, Dukect. Peace and love. I will see y'all when I see y'all later.